Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Beck. I'm the CEO of SAASTEPS, and I got alongside with me,
Ron Costa.
who's our co-founder. We've actually been friends for 15 plus years. We met each other actually a long time ago when we worked at separate companies, and we decided to form a company called SAASTEPS, and we wanted to share the vision of our company and what really has transpired over the last 10 to 12 years, which is when the original inception of SAASTEPS, formerly known as Kinetic Growth, actually started.
Yeah, so I think 10, 12 years ago, everything started with the quote to cash. You recall that?
I do.
When the QTC was launched, everybody was, oh, we need a configurator, right?
Yeah, or a CPQ, I guess is what it turned into.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, so it's like 10, 12 years ago, businesses were always really up in arms about how do we create a quote faster? How do we get that out to a customer? And so CPQ is what really established, and it happened actually because companies like Big Machines started creating a cool configurator, which was what we know as SaaS hybrid. So it had
Selectica.
Yeah, Selectica was out there, and then we had Firepond, and there's other companies. These are just companies that we've been associated with. And then Aptus showed up, and Aptus did something different. They actually built technology on the Salesforce platform. And that made a bunch of other companies realize, wow, we can do this too. And that's actually where we met a gentleman named Sat Lendy, who I actually used to work with at Big Machines. And he ended up building a technology inside Salesforce because he wanted to give businesses the ability to not just create a quote, but create the bills, the invoices, and the renewals. Because the most important part is collecting the money. And most people take a quote and push that back to an ERP. Whereas his vision was take all of that and keep it inside of your CRM, let salespeople solve these problems. And that's really how we became what we are today is, Ron and I met up and, we basically have been working together since what year, man?
2009, I think was, yeah. I was working at Embraer Executive Jets, getting out of Sales Logics, going into the Salesforce to the cloud now, and then a great paradigm, right? Everybody was against going to the cloud. But then when you made the comparisons about security, I don't know if you recall, but being in the cloud is actually way more secure than keeping everything in-house. So that was a big shift also in change management. But back to the application, I think the biggest thing with SaaS RAM today, this app that started 12 years ago, is probably the only one that effectively helps you manage a renewal, manage a subscription, and everything alongside with it, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we've really taken this company where when we acquired a company back in, let's see, what was that, 2021,
Yeah.
which was Kinetic Growth. We ended up taking that technology and we actually spent 3 years figuring it out because we did not know what the product did after 9 years. And we're like, okay, we have to figure this out. So we spent 3 years working with our customers, understanding the business. Now what we really understand is we truly help people step into SaaS. And it's because when you think about SaaS, it's a big, needle in the haystack, or you want to find the needle in the haystack. It's a big haystack, lots of different things, opportunities that you can, implement into Salesforce. But nobody really took the plan of saying, how do you do it right the first time? So this is where Ron and I kind of came together and we said, we want to help people step into SaaS. Start off with the implementation of Salesforce, connect with SAASTEPS. Let's talk about revenue and how you manage revenue. And that's what we'll kind of talk about in the next couple questions that we have that we're going to go through.
Exactly. And I also see that the fact of being native and stepping into SaaS with an enterprise foundation that, there's obviously a lot of CRMs out there, a lot of applications out there that allegedly do the same thing that we do. But what happens when you want to escalate your business? Stepping into SaaS is truly the only way to escalate your business. What is the biggest avenue out there for sale? The internet.
Yeah.
So I think with SaaSTEPS, there's a lot of customers these days that they think, oh, I need the CPQ because one day my business will be so complex enough
That's a good
that
point.
I'll be able to spend a lot of money with software and it will be super complex. But what ends up happening in most cases is implementations really never gets completed. There's a lot of regression issues. Every week there's a sprint just to manage the tickets, the bugs, and the enhancements needed. So what is the best way, not a better way to step into SaaS, but what is the best way to step into SaaS? Generalization, as well quoted by you.
Yeah, and standardization, because that's what we kind of talk about, So like 10, 12 years ago, companies, we didn't exist. So I mean, for you guys to be able to understand that this is even available, we're actually telling you about it today. But it took us 10 to 12 years to figure this out because 10, 12 years ago, people were just piecing things together. And so we really believe the evolution of SAASTEPS and the vision of SAASTEPS is really to provide a better world to SaaS, like help people get to SaaS in an easier way. And again, we've already spent 10 to 12 years understanding a number of customers' business use cases and not taking those use cases and customizing them. We actually took them and standardized them. And that's why we're able to do the things that we're able to do today, because Ron can go in and very quickly show anybody how our administration, which is where we start off in our demos, is the most powerful piece because it runs our entire solution. Remember, anybody can show you a demo, but if they're really good at SaaS, they'll show you the administration of how they built the demo before they actually show you the demo.